Ahsoka episode 1 and 2, let's dive in. There'll be some spoilers, not too many, a little bit of a review slash recap, not a lot, not a great deal. My thoughts. Okay, first cab off the rank, and after watching it's the thing, there's a thought that stuck in my head the most. There's two thoughts. The first one is Space Invaders. That's my very first thought. When I saw it, I was like, you guys repurposed an old Space Invaders toy to make a prop for Sabine to apparently manipulate just to find out where a droid came from by looking at its memory chip. So I found that was a little bit funny. That was my very first thought. Of all the artificial little prop things that you could do, it looks like a repurposed, held upside down old Space Invaders game. That was my first thought. My second thought was lightsaber stabs. When they take out a droid with a lightsaber, the droid is sliced in half for the most part. Heads off, limbs gone, body sliced in half. And yet, when they do a human, it's just stab, one hole in, one hole out. But if you really want to fuck up a human, get that lightsaber in and just do a big slice and the whole human will just peel open. But, having said that, I've got to kind of contemplate or consider the lightsaber is so hot, it's cauterizing the wound the moment the wound is made. So, what does that mean? It means unless you're going to take out a major organ like the heart, that's got to be instant death. Or a major blood vessel that's going to stop blood flowing. Unless you're doing that just with a stab in and out, you're not killing the person. They'll get a little bit fucked up and they can recover. That's my thought on it. I don't like it. Qui-Gon gets one stab and he's dead. Maul gets chopped in half, but he's fine. As soon as anyone accepts Maul chopped in half being fine, then you have to accept other lightsaber stabs not meaning death at all. Okay, so that's those two aspects. The rest, soon as with Ahsoka going back after the map was discovered. Now, that's another thought. How on earth does a 1,000-year-old temple that contains a ball, I can gather that the ball possibly had pre-existing knowledge of some other location. But how do they know that Thrawn has gone to that location, which would then merit that the ball knows where Thrawn is? That's my big question. Because it's like a quest for a thing, and then that thing's going to tell us where something else is, so we can go on a quest for that something else thing. And yet the quest for the first thing, how did that come about? It's like the laziness that was in the Disney trilogy Star Wars with the stupid goddamn knife. Someone had to stand in that exact location, map out the exact shape, cut a knife to that, and then go bury the knife somewhere. It's the most convoluted bullshit going. So with this map, are you telling me that somehow Thrawn's location was known? Then someone came and put it in this map and then put it in a temple that's 1,000 years old, or some weird shit like I didn't watch the cartoon series, which some of this is all based on. So if that's in the series and it's explained, well, forgive me. But as a person who hasn't seen that, I don't have pre-existing knowledge. I can only go on what I've seen. And that little bit kind of didn't make a lot of sense to me. But yeah, fair enough. Okay. So we have that. Then I have the question of where did the droids come from when she got the map? If they were already there, why didn't they stop her before she even went into the room? Maybe they didn't know. Maybe they were all walking around this huge temple aimlessly, at which point when she got dropped off, the ship didn't pick them up. So there's a few little questions about that, but if I don't ask too many questions about it, I'm okay and I can just enjoy the action. Now, the standout to me, if someone is talking to you and they say a word habit, so years ago, one of the most annoying habits for me was not a problem. People in a shop, customers in a shop, sales staff in a shop, just people in the street in general, in their conversation, people in the workplace. Everything was not a problem. Instead of saying, sure, fine, okay, I'll get it done or whatever, everything was not a problem. Could you reach that for me off the shelf? Not a problem. You know the answer to this? Not a problem. I'm a little bit upset about my shopping trolley. Not a problem. Everything was not a problem, and it was just ingrating on me because of its overuse. So in this first 2 episodes, Ahsoka's sitting there with her arms folded. Everywhere she goes, she's got her arms folded. And it was the overuse of the folded arms that just started to stick out to me just a little bit. Okay, so they're my little nitpicks in the series. Ahsoka's arm folding, lightsaber stabs mean nothing, the plot convenience of the map in a 1,000-year-old temple, and of course using an old Space Invaders game, handheld game as a prop, but just disguised a little bit. As for the action, the storyline, look, I know we need a MacGuffin to chase at some point in time and that kind of thing. I realise that. Yes, the student must be ready. So that I was quite happy with that bit. How do we know? Well, you know, the teacher knows because the student knows. If the student says I'm not ready, then the teacher knows the student's not ready. Even if the teacher thinks the student is ready. It's all going to be up to the student at that point. Entertainment-wise, storyline-wise, I thought it was fairly decent. We've got her droid in the ship, who I find actually a little bit comical in his logic, but I enjoy it. And then there's Chopper. Now, someone said to me, everyone's going to like Chopper and they're going to just love him. And look, I enjoyed him as a bit of a neurotic droid. So I did enjoy that little bit. And again, not having seen the cartoons, I don't know what I'm in for. So when people who've seen the cartoons say you like Chopper, yep, I like him, but I just liked that whole scene, to be honest. I thought it was a really good scene. But now there's 3 of them. So we knew we had the guy, red lightsaber bloke. So at this moment, we don't know what they're called. So we'll just call him the red lightsaber guy, the unblinking bleached white hair girl lightsaber wielder, and then the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers lightsaber wielder that Ahsoka was fighting at the end. So suddenly there's 3 of them. Do I have a problem with that? No. And I'm looking forward to finding out how they're going to resolve this issue of not knowing where this end galaxy is or how Ezra survived or anything like that. Yes, some of that's covered in the cartoons. I didn't watch the cartoons. So overall, I actually enjoyed this and had a little bit of a sneaky smile when I saw that Dave Filoni had written it, but also the dialogue where Sabine says something and the droid says, "That's in the past, move on." And I thought that was like a little kind of a hint for some people to move on. In any case, I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next episode. But let me know what you think down below.